One of my favorite things in video games and other general media is immersion. The idea that for just a second, you forget that you're playing a video game, that you're watching a movie, or that you're watching a TV show. But I'm not making a movie or TV. I'm making a game on Steam that you should go wishlist. There are many great environments in gaming. There are memorable ones, realistic ones, and ones that tickle a certain part of your brain in a way that can't be replicated. If I told you to think of a time you were playing a game and you got immersed, what do you think of? For me, in recent memory, that would be Lethal Company. A massive group of people running into blind chaos, dying one by one as the natural world consumes the comedy and leaves behind dread. That's the kind of feeling I want to replicate in my game. One of the biggest aspects of immersion is sound design. If we take a look at my game's sound, it is very one-dimensional. The interiors have occasional sounds that play.
Welcome to the art experience of...
But the differences are what interior you get. The sound on two museums will always basically be identical. But where I really dropped the ball is on the exteriors. The way my exterior sound design worked was very simple. Too simple, actually. There's a massive bounding box that defines what is outside. If you're in that box, a constant audio clip will play. That's how it's always been. However, the new audio system is much more dense, more alive in a way that makes it feel like sometimes it isn't ambience. As to not spoil the entire system and not bore you, I'm not going to break it down step by step. But close your eyes, or leave them open, there's actually going to be visuals. See, and more so hear, what multiple layers of ambience can do. However, while audio is more important than visuals still play a big part in ambience. Just on the outside areas, I've added yet more new content. Plant life is one aspect that we can easily implement. It's basically sitting still, not moving, but just the simple sway of grass can make the environment feel more alive. While my game has always had trees, bushes, and other static plant life, introducing more dynamic and freeform plants really make the environments come together in my eyes. But let's shift our focus more up. The sky. The definition of life itself and what exceeds our world. The light, the color, the moons, and the sun. All of it can change, shift to impend doom on the players, because now, the monsters aren't the only inevitable threat. So yeah, I added plants and a day-night cycle to make the outdoor feel a bit more exciting, I guess. As it's always felt like you're landing in snapshots of a world, one that doesn't change or adapt. Sure, the monsters were random and helped bring things to life, but even they felt like they only existed to stop you from progressing. There was no concept of life that existed on its own plane. It's vital that enemies feel like they could exist, even if no players are around to interact with them. But they still need to be intertwined with the players and have layers of depth when it comes to how they interact with players. However, enemies have had a pretty solid chunk of coverage in this series, so what are some other concepts that need to be kept in mind for immersion? Well, what about cosmetics? Most cult classics have one big element in their life cycle when you play them, and that's when you start adding mods. Take Left 4 Dead. When you're fully focused, it is a dreary, dark, and sometimes scary experience. But yeah, the moment Kermit the Frog starts ripping your entrails out while Hatsune Miku is fighting for her life with a floppy shotgun, all the mood is gone. It's all humor now. Now take the cosmetics in my game. The distinctions between cosmetics that are just normal hats or clothing and outfit pieces that can break immersion is blurry. The starter cosmetics are simple, with darker colors and don't really stick out. But by the end of the cosmetic line, you get cosmetics that absolutely shatter immersion. You wouldn't think it, but simple lights, goofy outfits, and unrealistic concepts ease players' perception of their environment. This makes certain moments funny when in other situations they'd add to fear. But at what point is it out of my control to force players to be immersed? After all, one of the biggest concepts in my game is proximity chat, a feature that makes the game feel so much more real, but kills any fear you might have in moments. But I want to talk about proximity chat on its own for a bit, because I have had nothing but struggles getting it to work. Proximity chat has consumed anywhere between 12 to 20 days of development time, which is an absolutely massive chunk. Whether it just doesn't work at all, there's a simple bug, or it'll just randomly stop working, it's always had a few consistent issues. Every time I try to fix it, I end up running into the same wall, and it breaks, and then it gets fixed, and then it breaks. It's never fully worked. And recently, I ran into a very startling issue. Massive frame drops. If you don't know what you're looking at, this is the profiler in Unity. It helps you figure out what's causing frame drops and performance problems. That 2000 millisecond frame render is voice chat basically freezing the game for 10 seconds. It would do this every single time you loaded into a new level, which meant that the game was just unplayable. I tried to fix it, I reset my computer, I deleted the entire asset, and nothing worked. But the worst part about this entire issue and this whole bug is that it just fixed itself. I reset my computer, and it was gone. And in the massive chaos and just destroying everything in my way, trying to get it to go away, I had deleted the entire asset. That's everything. All of the code that I had made to make everything function was gone. All of the assets I had created, all of the sound systems that were incorporated into the voice chat, all gone. So much work, so much time, just thrown down the drain. And yet that ended up being the most massive blessing I've ever had. It turns out, whenever you have to restart from scratch with a lot more knowledge than you did initially, you can build a much stronger foundation for something. And within 3 days, I got voice chat fully functioning. We can also incorporate voice chat into the gameplay. For example, the players' heads will now bob up and down when you're talking to indicate to other players that you are speaking. Also, while enemies did detect you through your microphone, I had to use a different system due to voice chat being always broken. But now we can just check the voice chat amplitude and boom! Monsters can hear you speaking now. This makes everything so much scarier and makes the world just feel so much more real. With the massive cut down on content and a rework for many of the game's base systems just to make the game feel more polished and fun, I've created a roadmap for February. I plan on hosting a massive 8-player playtest on February 28th. I have a few dates lined up to that for benchmark playtests to ensure that the game is in its best state. A little bit after February 28th, the Steam page is going to get a massive overhaul and a new trailer will be created for the game. The game will basically be completely remastered. If this game interests you and you might want to be a part of one of those playtests, check out the game's Discord in the description. And once again, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. The algorithm the algorithm might favor me a little bit more if you do. Anywho's, y'all have a good day.
Oh, wait a minute! I know what I'll do. I'll just skate across the lava. Oh my god, look at this! Look at me go!
Oh my god!
Look at me go! Look at me go!
You're getting closer to the edge.
Where'd he go?
Better not die!
Get out of the lava! Get out of the lava! Where'd he go?
How do I get out?
Oh, just let go.
How do I save it?
Out.
I can jump! Oh god! Oh god!
They're burning! They're burning!
Skateboard safety! Oh god!
Oh wait, there's a skateboard here!